Michael.
Raquel, and that's Raquel Mugai, who is our reporter at the CBD at National Archives, to be specific. And evident that Kenyans are very hardworking. There are already so many Kenyans out there basically trying to eke a living. And that's why it becomes very painful when we talk about integrity. And according to the Constitution 2010, there is Chapter 6, which talks about leadership and integrity. And that's what we want to focus on this morning. But before I hand over this interview to Michelle, let's just look at a few things that are happening when it comes to this question of integrity. And we have 6 agencies that are currently working round the clock to ensure that they weed out politicians with fake academic papers and integrity issues ahead of their clearance with the IEBC. Now, we have the Commission for University of Education. We have Office of the Attorney General, OAG, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. If we can move on to the next one. We also have the Department of Immigration and Registration of Persons, Director of Criminal Investigations, DCI, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And of course, this one is a big one right there, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Talking about the EACC, now the IEBC has submitted 15,083 names by IEBC. The agencies will write recommendations on each candidate to the IEBC by Thursday. Now, hopefully, these recommendations should include those that should qualify and those who possibly would be disqualified. And moving on now to the next board, where we see they need to have a valid and genuine university degree. Now, this is key here, valid and genuine. Having a degree does not necessarily mean that it's genuine and valid. Remember, we've had instances where we've had several leaders who apparently have had fake documents. They must not have violated Section 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. And this is where now the rubber meets the road, because we ask the question, when we look at some of our leaders that are going for elective positions, have they violated that particular Section 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act? They must be a Kenyan citizen, at least 10 years. So I think that's easy to qualify, especially when we look at the immigration. Must not hold dual citizenship. Then the presidential candidate must be a Kenyan citizen by birth. Again, that is easy to validate and identify. Then, on the checklist, they must not have been imprisoned for at least 6 months, should not have contravened Chapter 6 of the Constitution. This, we should even have put a red border right there, because that is where the gravitas of the matter is. Now, what is the Chapter 6 of the Constitution? Let's take a look at that. And the Kenya National Commission for Human Rights wants the Supreme Court to interpret guidelines of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Because as it is right now, when we look at some of the leaders that we have and we look at some of what they have done, then we're left wondering, what is the correct interpretation of integrity as per Chapter 6 of the Constitution? And now there's a rights body that has filed for a case seeking to bar leaders of questionable integrity from contesting on August the 8th. And this is one that is going to be presented, I believe, by end of today. And of course, we'll see how that is going to go in regards to that. Then finally, the Supreme Court's decision will be final. Once they rule